good morning. So we'll start with agriculture. So first of all, I will tell you some background of agriculture. Although we had discussed in our growth story of India separately agriculture, industry and services, but here when we are studying agriculture, we will understand some important incidents in agriculture like Green Revolution, etc. So we'll discuss Green Revolution, land reforms, then we'll move on to the advanced topics like agriculture investment, agriculture credit, agriculture research development, extension, like this. ठीक है. So first of all, do you know that the employment contribution in agriculture sector, so employment contribution from agriculture sector is 55% of the total population, but when we talk about the contribution of agriculture in GDP is 14%. So you can see that people engaged in agriculture is far more what is required. If we compare with United States of America, this is India, this is in current situation. So in US, the GDP contribution is 4% and population engaged is 2%. So you can see that the amount of productivity. But here, so it means what happened? Whenever we will see the linkages between agriculture and industry, this linkage is missing in India, because whenever you have shifted from agriculture to industry and later on services, but what about employment contribution? This was not happened because of the less skill people are possessing engaged in agriculture sector. Because suppose for example there are 100 persons engaged in agriculture sector. If we want to move some of the person from agriculture to industry, we need to provide skills. If suppose only 20% are capable enough to be skilled, then these 20 will be moved towards industrial sector. Other 80 will remain in agriculture sector. But whenever government focuses more on industrial sector, what happened that time? That agriculture growth rate will dip. Getting over? This is more or less just the background of this agriculture. Now we will understand about the contribution. So you know that low GDP contribution is very harmful for agriculture sector. Because agriculture sector is directly related to poverty. If 14% is the contribution and 55% approximately people engaged in agriculture, it means these people are living in poverty because income distribution is less. So the agriculture GDP, agri GDP, this is what we call 14%, is obviously not fulfill the demand of these 55% of the people. What will be the result? Poverty. So according to one estimate that if you want to reduce the poverty, you need to increase agriculture GDP. So whenever you will find that if there is 1% growth in agriculture GDP, then it is far more better in comparison to other two sectors in reducing the poverty in our country. If we compare, that's what I want to say, that if we compare 1% growth rate in agriculture, industry and services, if you achieve that 1% growth rate in agriculture in comparison to the other two sectors, it is far better in terms of poverty alleviation. So that is why we need to focus on this agriculture GDP growth rate. Now generally we say that 4% GDP growth rate is sufficient. Agriculture GDP growth rate 4% is sufficient for agriculture. It means here if we talk about total growth rate, we are aiming for double-digit growth rate. It means this is the desirable path, desirable number that India want to achieve. So in agriculture, 4% is the target every year. Now who will decide this target? So according to new agriculture policy in the year 2000, this target was decided, and this target will be valid till 2020. So it means the question can still come because of we are approaching 2020. Last year we have achieved the growth rate of 4.1%. So that's quite commendable. But whenever we think about previous growths, it was like 3%, 1.1%, 2%. So it means we cannot be happy with this particular achievement in one single year. Getting my point? Now we'll write few lines. So you write. First you write heading, then we'll write background of agriculture since independence. That is the subheading. Background of agriculture since independence. Background of agriculture since independence. We'll write bullet in bullet points. First one you write. India's agriculture sector has been an important sector to provide India's agriculture sector has been an important, ये लिखा है ना, क्या लिखा है? To provide food security to provide food security, comma, to alleviate poverty, especially from rural areas, Full stop. The low contribution of agriculture to GDP. The low contribution of agriculture to GDP in the present time is not the concern. But the amount of people engaged in it is quite large. So if I'm saying is quite large means I have to give some kind of justification. So whenever you're writing answers of economics, if I'm saying it is large, so you just in bracket write 55% of the population. That is by giving some data, you're justifying your argument. So in bracket you write 55% of the population. You write approximation. If you do not remember any data exactly, write approximation. Otherwise you will be in trouble. So approximation is always a safe option. Can you please repeat the sentence after the full stop?
The low contribution of agriculture to GDP in the present time is not the concern, but the amount of people engaged in it is quite large.
Is quite large. Full stop. The main role of policymakers are here is to shift the population from agriculture to non-agricultural sectors. Full stop. According to the estimates, if there is 1% increase in agricultural GDP, 1% increase in agricultural GDP, then it is very beneficial to alleviate poverty, then it is very beneficial to alleviate poverty in comparison to the same growth in industrial and service sector. I hope you understand this paragraph, very simple paragraph, just the introductory paragraph. You write one more line. High agricultural growth will be helpful in increasing the rural income, and that rise in the income will lead to lower poverty. Okay, I hope you understand the linkages between. So whenever you will achieve high agriculture growth rate, so obviously the income generation in agriculture sector will also go up. If income generation in agriculture sector goes up, what will happen? It means rural people will get extra purchasing power. If they will get extra purchasing power, obviously it will be helpful in alleviating poverty. This is the linkage between agriculture and poverty. See. Now you know that if you are shifting population from agriculture to other sector, you require some kind of mechanism. But there is one biggest problem, is all about migration. So if you are shifting from one to place to other, it means if you provide certain good facilities to agricultural sector, especially in rural areas, you will be able to stop the migration. Now there are two types of migration. You understand migration? People moving from one place to another. Out migration and in migration, or what we call push or pull, or immigration or emigration, whatever you want to say. So here push and pull works in agriculture sector. Push migration, pull migration. Any idea? Suppose you are living in your hometown. So Delhi working as a pull migration because this place is attracting you. That will go and prepare for civil services. That is pull effect. Push effect is you are living in a rural area where there is no resources. Getting my point? You will not able to find employment. Then that particular area will push you towards the areas which are providing better opportunities. Getting my point? So you write in the next point. Better agricultural growth rate will be helpful in high rural growth that will stop, or that will control you, right? That will control migration from rural to urban. That will control migration from rural to urban. Because the same opportunities can be available in rural areas. Full stop. Now you will tell me that what are the effects of this migration, rural to urban? What are the disastrous effects? Resources. Demographical change, yes, perfect. There's another problem. Yes, anyone? Urban poverty. Like, because whenever rural people are coming to the metro cities, they are living in slums. So urban poverty will go up. Again, the demographics will change. So in the modern times, we are discussing about feminization of agriculture. Feminization of agriculture means in rural areas, females are having more share of working population in comparison to male, because male are moving towards urban areas for new income sources. So demographics of rural plus urban are changing. Getting my point? So these are the disastrous effects. So you write in the next line. This will also help. This will also be helpful for. This will also be helpful for reducing urban poverty. Reducing urban poverty. Take a full stop. Now you understand. I hope no need to elaborate this sentence. Urban poverty, you understand. Okay. Now you listen carefully that how we will link agriculture to other sector. Linkage is very, very important, because UPSC is not asking direct questions now. They are linking topics into syllabus. So whatever the topics mentioned in the syllabus, like 3 topics are more or less very much overlapping: poverty, employment, and agriculture. These 3 topics are obviously interrelated. So you can find that always there is an expectation that a question will come about linkages of these 2. Now whenever you will link agriculture.
So this feminization of agriculture isn't a good thing?
No, it's not a good thing.
Doesn't it provide encouragement or upliftment to the woman?
Upliftment to the woman, that's a great thing, but I'll tell you whenever we'll discuss land reforms that because of the landless laborers, feminization of agriculture led to exploitation of females.
Dependent on themselves.
But they are landless laborers, and landless laborers do not get any benefit. You know that whatever benefits government is giving, landless laborers are not getting it, because these are landless. They do not have land, so how can they claim? That's the main problem. We always think about from agriculture perspective. We always think about for marginal farmers, landless laborers, etc. But we cannot make policy, agriculture policy, by keeping in mind about large farmers, because large farmers are getting benefit. Tax benefit, number 1 benefit. Benefits of modern inputs, benefits of credit, etc. They will get everything. So after this topic, after the highlight of this agriculture since independence, we'll discuss land reforms. First we'll discuss traditional land reforms, then modern land reforms. Then we'll discuss Land Act. You know that there is one act, Suna apna, the Right to Fair Transparency in Land Acquisition, Rehabilitation and Resettlement Act of 2013. That's a big name, popularly known as Land Act 2013, and Land Bill 2015. One of the most controversial bill ever since independence in agriculture sector. So Land Acquisition Bill. So we'll compare these 2, Land Act versus Land Bill. Okay. Then after that we'll move on to topics of agriculture. Okay. So now we were discussing linkages. So from agriculture to industry to services. If we want to link, now you will tell me, if we achieve better agriculture growth rate, how will it affect, in obviously in a good sense, to agriculture, to industry and to services? If you achieve better agriculture growth rate, what will be the benefit for industrial sector as well as service sector? Agro-based industry will get the boost, yes. Any other?
The purchasing power of people will help the self-home
Producer, that's perfect. It means the demand of the industry. So whatever we will see that the industrial production will go up because of the rural demand for that industrial production will also go up. Getting on. What about services? A service sector will also get benefit because of the transportation, storage, etc. So you'll write next paragraph. Better agriculture growth will lead to accelerated industrial growth rate. Will lead to accelerated industrial growth rate. Full stop. Full stop. Link between agriculture and industry. Link between agriculture and industry. From demand side, is that when there is increase in rural income, that will lead to rise in the demand of industrial goods, full stop. From supply side, high agriculture growth will lead to low price level. Therefore, wages will be lowered. Therefore, it is important to reduce cost of production. Ultimately will increase the profit. Okay. Now you know that agriculture provides certain kind of raw material to industries. If you are reading 11th class NCERT, it is mentioned in that NCERT that agriculture is providing some kind of raw material to industries. Can you give me any example of any industry? Sugar. It means all the food processing industries, they get their raw material from agriculture sector. So you write this line. Agricultural commodities are used as raw material for industrial sector. The best example is of food processing industry. Now you write the last line of this introductory paragraph. Agriculture growth is vital for providing food security in India. So this completes our introductory discussion of this agriculture. Now you know the background of this particular thing, that what is the current situation of agriculture in India.